Damn if Pixar's not back. So, yesterday I got the chance to see Pixar's newest film, Hoppers. Wow, Pixar's back. So, Pixar's latest endeavors, I think I should go over that before I go over the film as a whole. Pixar right now, I think last year they had Elio and, it was Elio and they had something else come out last year. It wasn't Inside Out 2, was it? Inside Out 2 was 2024, yeah. They've pretty much been able to do one movie a year. I think they've had the occasional two things, but usually it's like a Disney Plus release. It's never in theaters. Usually they have like a one theater experience per year. So Elio last year, I wasn't a fan of. A lot of people weren't. Didn't make that much money, but it wasn't terrible. Year prior, Inside Out 2, not bad. Like, pretty good for sequels. Like, it was like what Toy Story 2 was to the first Toy Story. It's pretty good. Before Inside Out 2, I think it was Elemental. Elemental was the year prior. Not a fan of Elemental. This was like the movie that kind of like set in stone that Pixar probably wasn't going to be back for a while. Year before that, we all know, Lightyear, not the greatest thing in the world. It's definitely down there for Pixar for me. It's not the worst, but it's definitely down there. But Turning Red came out the exact same year, and that was pretty good. And it was around that time that Luca, Turning Red, all that was coming out that we started to notice, yeah, Pixar wasn't really giving us classics anymore, more as they were just giving us passable stuff. Like, we weren't getting your Ups, we weren't getting your Ratatouille, we weren't getting your Toy Story. And we were starting to notice that around Lightyear, Elemental area. And it's been casually like that for the past 4 or 5 years. So the last really good movie was probably Soul. I loved Soul. It's definitely top 3 Pixar movies for me. That is such a fantastic movie. I did like Luca, and not a lot of people did, but now we come to Hoppers, and this feels like the Pixar I was growing up with. I think the best thing about this movie is that I was noticing a lot of kids in this theater. When I saw Elio, no one was in the theater. No one wanted to see it. Even Inside Out 2, I didn't notice a lot of kids. I was noticing people my age, honestly. And granted, Inside Out 2 was probably, like, the story for that was probably gearing towards that. But in this case, with Hoppers, 100% for kids. 100%. All the jokes are very kid-friendly. There's a couple of hints of dark humor in there. It kind of reminded me of Wild Robot in that case, where there was, like, moments of, like, oh, yeah, this movie's going to show off natural selection in its finest. So, start off, there's really only one negative, but I'm going to start with the positives. Positive number 1, this movie is paced very well. You are thrown into this movie and the tone that it's going to set for the rest of the movie immediately, and I love it. The opening for this movie reminded me a lot of Up. I don't know if I was the only one in that wheelhouse. I think it's just, you know, it was the build up, because the opening to Up kind of was like build up for that married life sequence, and it allowed for that payoff. And it's very hard to have an emotional payoff with a character when it's like a character you're meeting at the beginning, which is why the married life sequence in Up is just so groundbreaking, because like we don't hear a single line from adult Ellie at all in the movie, but we remember her name. She made us cry for about 20 years. So almost 20 years now. But in this case with Hoppers, that first opening sequence, it did get me a little teary-eyed. And I will admit it was a little predictable. Like, a certain character shows up in that opening and you're like, yeah, they're probably going to do an Up thing here where they kill her off via like cancer or something. It worked for me because I related to the main character Mabel a lot. She's a very outcasted kind of character. She's very quirky. She doesn't really have great social interaction skills. And the only conversations she's able to have are with the mayor, which is voiced by John Hamm very well. Actually, that goes for all the voice actors in this film. I love the voice acting in this. But the dynamic between Mabel and the mayor was actually some of the most surprising stuff in the movie for me, because the mayor on paper, especially in the first act, he is just your ordinary textbook antagonist. Like, he's he's the big bad mayor. He wants to destroy the wildlife with his big beltway. And it's very corny, but they kind of like take the corny route with it, especially in that first act. Mabel is always at odds with him because of she grew up around wildlife, and she kind of used wildlife as a way to calm her down her mental state. She has like incredible anger issues, especially when she was little. So she finds this like rock to always sit at and meditate. And honestly, one of my favorite sequences of the film is when she's just sitting on a rock and she's just drinking in the nature around her. She's just finding all the things to look at, and it just calms her state. She just immediately goes from angry to calm, and I love that sequence. I love how it was shot. Other good things, the characterization in this movie is mwah. Like, these are some of the most interesting and hilarious Pixar characters to watch in a while. Inside Out 2, I don't count because we already met those characters 11 years ago. So I don't count that one, but it's been since Turning Red that I've genuinely felt intrigue in the characters, especially the main. But Hopper's on a Case, it's not only interesting, but it's also hilarious to watch these characters. There's a character in here voiced by Bobby Moynihan, King George. Please make him our president. This is definitely the kind of president I would want. I don't want to spoil anything that he does because it's like, you gotta be there to watch him work. It's awesome. He's my favorite character in the movie. But yeah, characterization's all good. I remember all the characters. I remember their names. I remember their personalities. I can name their personalities with all my fingers, like that good. Great heart and passion. This movie had very great directing. I remembered the name. I was just trying to figure out, because Pixar usually typically sticks with the same directors, Peter Sohn, Pete Docter, Brad Bird. Like they typically stick with the same ones. This was a newcomer, and I was like, who directed this, dude? The whole time. And then when the credits roll and I see Daniel Chung, the creator of We Bare Bears, did this, and it's all over the movie. If you grew up with We Bare Bears, I didn't grow up with it, but I watched it in my teen years. It's all that the We Bare Bearsness is all over this movie, and it shows. It just immediately clicked when his name popped up. It was a very welcoming surprise, but I could feel passion in the directing of this. This didn't feel corporate at all. I didn't feel like a producer was behind. Granted, I don't really feel that with most Pixar. I think Lightyear was the only one that I felt with that, and Elio. Actually, not even Forms of Elio. Elio felt pretty original, but Hopper's this one. I just felt like the director got a chance to make his movie. I did. I didn't feel like any producers were behind breathing on his neck at all, calling shots or anything like that, which allowed me to feel like there was heart and passion put into it. It did feel like a passion project to me. It felt like this was made by someone who grew up around wildlife and appreciated animal culture and appreciated activists for this kinds of thing as well. It was also a pretty good length. I know I did touch on, I said the pacing was pretty good, but it also had a pretty good length. It was the perfect length. The only thing is, and it's weird because it doesn't ruin the length of the movie. Like, this is a perfectly length film. It's like an hour and 40 minutes. But there's a weird thing that happens in the third act. And this is the only negative I have with the film. It has like an extra third act. There's a moment where two characters are in the middle of a car chase sequence. And it's shot and edited. And it just built, the build up for it felt very third act finale. Like, I felt like once this sequence is over, then we're going to go into the wrap up epilogue kind of thing. But no, we get another third act in the third act. Like, this is like a fourth act thing we got here. It's like introduces a completely new villain, a completely new subplot. But the thing is, it worked for me. It didn't work, but it was fine for me because it kind of worked off what we were introducing in that third act, that first part of the third act. It played around with stuff that they were introducing there. It didn't just feel like out of nowhere, but there really wasn't much work in when it came to a structure standpoint. The characters were worked into the third act, and the new surprise villain was kind of hinted at coming up in that extra part of the third act. But when it comes to like an editing standpoint, it kind of felt like, whoa, we're not done? Like, I felt that in my mind. But it didn't cause any problems. I was still intrigued in what was going to happen next, but it took like a really weird tonal shift. I think that's what I'm trying to say. The tone was just a little off there, but that was really the only negative. Great characters, great animation. I mean, each Pixar movie just keeps getting gorgeous and more gorgeous. This easily could have been just like a simple Illumination cash grab kind of thing. Oh, kids see cute animals, so they want to see it. But no, they put depth into it. They put heart into it. And it was hilarious. And maybe like 3 jokes didn't land. Actually, more like 2. I still got a chuckle out of all of them. There's only like 2 that I was rolling my eyes at. And might I say, coming off of that point, this movie was marketed worse than Elio. And this movie is probably making more money than Elio. But the trailer doesn't give you any of the good jokes in the movie. Like, all the eye rollers are in that teaser. Do not watch the teaser. The official trailer that they did wasn't too bad, but it still had those same, like, oh, yeah, we gotta be a kid's movie for a second here. And when I say that, I mean, like, Illumination minions, where they just, like, do something cute for the sake of being cute. Or do something goofy for the sake of being goofy. Like, I put this at number 8 in my Pixar ranking. I have on my Letterboxd. Please follow me on Letterboxd, by the way. I put reviews on there every day for movies. But I have a list on there that I made for Pixar movies. This is number 8. This is up there. I'm telling you guys, this is a good one. Please go out and see this one. And I did get the popcorn bucket as well. I always try to get these because my local theater, they don't do physical tickets anymore, so I always want to keep a memorabilia of me seeing, because I used to collect movie tickets for my Regal all the time, then the Regal closed, and now I go to a local theater. They don't do physical tickets anymore, so I always try to keep memorabilia so I remember that I saw a movie. I always try to get the popcorn buckets. This one's not bad. I like this one. I was hoping they would go like a Dune or like Deadpool and Wolverine route where they like actually make the beaver, the Mabel beaver, a bucket. But no, I still like it. I'm using this from now on. I love this thing. I'm gonna add it to my collection. But yeah, please see Hoppers. It's pretty damn good. Pixar, I hope they stay on this train. I do. Elio wasn't too bad. Like, I think this should be seen as a turning point. I think this should be seen as a turning point. Inside Out 2 was a way of showing the world that Pixar had capabilities again. Elio kind of took a little bit away from that, but it still had originality and still gave us a little bit of hope. This one defines the hope. It gives me 100% hope, whereas Elio I was still on the fence. This one, I'm excited, but I'm still cautious. So I'm hoping we got something cooking in the future. I know Incredibles 3 is coming out. I think they're doing Pixar just announced what their next project was, but I completely forgot the premise. But please see Hoppers, please. It's pretty damn good. It's my favorite movie of the year. It's gonna be the best movie of the year until Project Hail Mary comes out. I cannot wait for Project Hail Mary. That's definitely gonna be the next review that I do. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time.